What's going on, everybody? Mikey here from MikeyDailyCarry, and today I've got something a little different. This isn't a review, it's not an unboxing, it's not a first impressions video. Instead, I wanted to sit down and talk with you about something I've been working on behind the scenes that I'm genuinely excited about. Today, I'm officially announcing my new channel and podcast, EDC For Beginners. Now, before we get into what it is, I want to start by saying one thing. MikeyDailyCarry, this channel right here, is not going away. This channel is still home. This is still where you're going to find gear reviews, unboxings, first impressions, bag breakdowns, loadouts, comparisons, and everything else you've come to expect over the years from this channel. If you've subscribed because you enjoy that content, absolutely nothing is changing. In fact, if anything, I think this new channel will allow me to do even a better job of keeping this channel focused on the things that help build this MikeyDailyCarry community in the first place. But over the last few years, I've noticed something. For every person who's been carrying gear for years, there's somebody else who's just discovering everyday carry for the very first time. Maybe they stumbled across one of my videos. Maybe they saw someone carrying a flashlight and wondered why. Maybe they heard the term EDC and thought, what does that even mean? Or that's dumb. Or maybe they watched a pocket dump and immediately felt overwhelmed by all the gear. And honestly, I don't blame them. The EDC world can be a lot. There's knives, flashlights, pens, multi-tools, pry bars, bags, wallets, watches, and enough gear to make your head spin. And while that's exciting for us who have been in the hobby for years, it can be intimidating for someone who's just getting started. But there's actually another reason this new channel exists. Some of you may remember that I launched a podcast on this channel here called Not Another EDC Podcast. And to be honest, I really enjoyed making those episodes. I enjoyed having longer conversations. I enjoyed talking about practical carry. I enjoyed just making fun of everyday carry in general and discussing the philosophy behind EDC rather than just products themselves. But what I've learned was that podcast content and review content don't always blend together naturally on the same channel and page. Some people absolutely love the podcast episodes. Others were primarily coming to the channel for reviews, unboxings, and gear-focused content. And that's perfectly okay. What it helped me realize, though, is that the podcast deserved its own dedicated home, a place where conversations could live without competing with reviews, a place where I could go deeper into EDC topics without worrying about whether it fit the main channel. And that's exactly what EDC For Beginners is. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, Mikey, I've been carrying gear for years. Why would I subscribe to a channel called EDC For Beginners? And honestly, that's a fair question. But the truth is, this channel isn't only for beginners. Yes, beginners are absolutely the focus, but I want to create a place where someone completely new to everyday carry can learn the basics without feeling overwhelmed. But I also think there's tremendous value in revisiting the fundamentals. Sometimes when you've been in the hobby for years, it's easy to get caught up in the latest release, the newest knife steel, the brightest flashlight, or the newest bag. And we forget the simple question that got us interested in the first place. Why do we carry? What do we carry? What actually deserves pocket space? What gear has truly stood the test of time? What lessons have we learned along the way? How has our personal carry evolved? Those conversations aren't just for beginners. They're for all of us. In many ways, I hope EDC for Beginners becomes a refresher for experienced enthusiasts, just as much as it becomes a starting point for newcomers. Because at the end of the day, EDC isn't really about gear. It's about solving problems. It's about preparedness. It's about carrying things that make your life easier. And those fundamentals never change. Some of the topics we'll be covering include: what is EDC? What should be in our pockets? What do you really need a knife for? Why do people carry flashlights? Multi-tools explain the truth about pry bars, building EDC on a budget, dad, work, travel, EDC, sling bag versus backpacks, a whole slew of things. The goal isn't to tell people what they should carry. The goal is to help people figure out what works for them, and hopefully have some great conversation along the way. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd love for you to head over and subscribe to EDC For Beginners. I'll link it down in the description below. Whether you're completely new to the hobby, you've been carrying for years, and you're simply interested in hearing the different side of EDC conversations, I think you'll find something valuable there. I'll have a link down in the description, and in there you're going to see 3 new episodes. And again, don't worry. This channel, MikeyDailyCarry, is not changing. You'll still get all the reviews, unboxings, first impressions, and gear content right here. This new channel is simply an extension of what we've already built together. A dedicated place for conversations, education, and discussions about the hobby we'll enjoy. As always, thank you for your support. Thank you for helping this channel grow. And thank you for being a part of the EDC community. I'll see you guys over on EDC for Beginners. Take care. And as always, peace out and walk a path.